Well, hello and welcome to Qlik Spotlight. My name's John Sands, and we're doing a spotlight session now, and we're talking to our valued partners who are around the geography and talking about what they're doing, what their solution is, and really highlighting, what is a very important part of Qlik's infrastructure is the partner network. Now, I have the very great pleasure of having Sebastian Servat, who's the CEO of Qore Solutions. Welcome, Sebastian.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure, and thank you for being part of Spotlight. It's always good to hear from other people rather than just internal people. So, for people who don't know about you, who are Core Solutions, and what area does your solution focus on?
Right. Okay. So we're a company, a partner that's based in Sydney, Australia. So we essentially focus on solutions that add collaboration capabilities to ClickSense, and we've been around for probably around a couple of years. We're a
Hmm.
small team. We're around 8 or 10 people, which are based mainly in Australia, and we have a few people sitting overseas in Argentina, our R&D department. But yeah, we've been essentially just in the Qlik ecosystem for a couple of years and doing
Hmm.
great things around collaboration.
Oh, excellent. Oh, it's a very important part of the whole style, isn't it? That's fantastic. So, where do you fit into the Qlik solution, the Qlik partner solution spectrum?
Yeah, right. So our solutions specifically focus around providing collaboration for the ClickSense users and centralizing
Hmm.
conversations around the actual, the place where the data conversation should be kept, which is around the data.
Yeah.
So we sit right at the end of the chain. So, if you think about the whole, data journey, starting from data
Yep.
collection, preparation, insights, and a lot of machine learning and all these different capabilities that they help users be able to get in touch with the data and be able to
Yeah.
understand what's happening around the business. We sit right at the end and we facilitate essentially all the conversations so that users can take those insights and be able to drive action
Yeah.
quickly and more effectively. So we sit right at the end of that chain of the analytics journey between insights and essentially time to action, right? The decision making
Mm.
process.
Yeah, that's very important, isn't it? And there's a lot of things going on in the world. We've got the Qlik, especially with the acquisitions of the Insight Bot, with Podium and Attunity, and there's a big shift towards making data accessible to everyone, which is in fact what your tool does. So what role does it play? So give me a bit more detail around that. And I'll mention a word that we use a lot at Qlik at the moment and very important, and that's data literacy. So where do you sit in there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a key role, a key part in the whole, the driving the data literacy culture across companies.
Yeah.
So it's essential. It's very important. What we see is we see a lot of great technologies, and all what they're doing is essentially they're bringing in. Allowing customers to be able to get in touch with the data and be able to understand them more efficient, more quickly. But there's the challenge with, how do you actually collaborate? How do you have
Yeah.
conversations? How do you find out, how do you follow up on the data when there is certain questions that you don't know about? So all these different questions still coming up, and the
Mm.
more that we have more solutions that bring data more closer to people, the more need that we have to provide a proper system and a proper way to have collaboration
Yeah.
within ClickSense, right? So it's a very important part of the puzzle
Mm.
that it cannot be missing, because you need to be able to drive those insights and be able to have those feedback and those insight those
Yeah.
collaboration pieces to flow up the chain in a business to be able to drive action. So it's very
Yeah.
critical.
And it is important to push that out to and that's what collaboration in my mind does. It pushes it out to the very edges of the business as well, which is incredibly important. Now there are quite a few solutions out there now, and it's a very popular subject around the collaboration. So where do you see that your key differentiator is?
Right. Okay, that's a good question. So yes, there is a lot of solutions, and collaboration itself. It's a big topic, right? You can apply
Yeah.
collaboration to multiple levels, in multiple ways, right? So what we built initially was a collaboration platform. Now that platform it has its very robust security framework to ensure
Mm.
that all the data and all the collaboration that's happening within the business, it is governed, properly governed at enterprise level. And we've also built a very a very extensible approval workflow as well,
Yeah.
which that underpins essentially also all kinds of communication that happen within the business. And there is always needs to be
Mm.
able to moderate. If I need to actually provide some feedback about some monthly numbers to my finance manager before it actually rolls out to the
Yeah.
CFO, I need to be able to control that flow of the data before it actually gets to the top, right? So we built
Yeah. Of
that
course.
framework initially, and we built the initial extension, which is the Qommentary extension. But what that allows us to do now is to be able to extend that out and add more extensions to the actual suite, so that we can provide
Mm.
collaboration at a lot of different levels and be able to satisfy multiple use cases, right? Anything from,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're thinking about write back to the source to be able to, to facilitate that process, writing, in-app collaboration, engaging in
Mm.
discussions. So there's a lot of different ways that we are, bringing collaboration. And the great thing about what we're doing is that we're centralizing everything in one single solution, right? So that the customer doesn't have to have to go around finding different solutions around and
Yeah.
trying to mash them up into one single system. We're essentially just providing all these different collaboration solutions within a single suite, and that's
Ah.
definitely it provides a lot of comfort for the customer, and
Yeah. Of course.
it's a lot easier to manage.
Mm. And you mentioned there a point about around about the extension that you developed. Now, Qlik run the TED or Trusted Extension Developer Network, which you are a part of. So, how important was that for you to get that accreditation? And also, what was the process like in getting to that stage?
Right. Yeah. So the process. I mean, acquiring the TED extension was the accreditation was crucial for
Yeah.
us, mainly because not only it gives us a certain accreditation, a certain signature around our solution to be able
Mm.
to say that we are actually endorsed and
Yeah.
by Qlik, but also customers have been asking about the actual extension being accredited, being TED
Right.
accredited. So at some stage, it became a bit of a requirement for us and a milestone for us to be able to become TED accredited and be able to comply with Qlik
Mm.
standards. And the process was fantastic. Dealing with the Qlik team, the R&D team, throughout the accreditation process, it was a fast, a very fast workflow for us, and the
Yeah.
iteration was fantastic. So it was almost effortless to try to get it
Oh,
into
that's good to
into
know.
the program. Absolutely. So now we're
Yeah.
excited because
You
we
don't want
are.
to make it difficult, do you? You don't want to make it difficult, but there's also standards you need to keep to as
There
well.
is exactly, and when you start dealing with different partners, you need to be able to collaborate. Excuse the pun. We need to collaborate into to make sure that the process is as smooth as
Yeah.
possible. So it was very organic, the whole process all the way through. It took us 3 weeks to be able to get our first extension accredited, which is back in February 2019. And now we're
Yeah.
rolling out more extensions, which are going to be part of the TED program. So, we're
Oh,
extremely,
fantastic.
extremely excited to be part
Yeah.
of that program. Yeah.
That's brilliant. So, okay, so you're based out of Australia, Sydney, and also Argentina, but I'm presuming your customers are not just based in that geography. So, what is your spread of customers like across the globe?
Right. So, naturally being based in the APAC region, we started with customers
Mm.
in Sydney, mainly in Sydney, Australia, some also in New Zealand. So we started working with this region initially, but we have customers pretty much around the globe, like you said. Some in UK, there's some sitting as well in South Africa. So there is a lot of different customers across the
Mm.
globe. Yeah. Um,
And it makes it, I mean, and really and truly, where they are is it doesn't matter, does it? Because this is an extension you can download and use and support. So that's really good. And are you finding there's a particular industry or function that is requested in your product?
Yeah, so yeah, we initially started focusing on healthcare for the me
Mm.
reason that healthcare has, as we all know, they have a process just like many other industries naturally, but healthcare in particular
Yeah.
has a process around reporting and being able to communicate feedback from bottom up in an effective way.
Yeah.
So definitely they saw the big potential there to be able to facilitate that conversation. So we started focusing on healthcare, but it quickly started catching up with different industries. So
Hmm.
collaboration itself can be applied anywhere, right? There's no
Yeah.
specific
Yeah.
industry. So we're not
Hmm.
focusing in any particular industry right now. We are, we're finding out new use cases as we go along in this journey,
Hmm.
which are fantastic, right? Anything from supply
Yeah.
chain, how they use, how they use our, our solution to be able to communicate from, let's say, a warehouse when, when something happens with inventory levels, and they need
Hmm.
to communicate that up to the different supply and demand planners, right? So there is that use
Hmm.
case. There is use cases as well in airlines. One of our customers that we're dealing with, around performance, around route segment performance. So there is the
Yeah.
use cases are just vast, which is great. It's
Yeah, that's
exciting.
and are you finding that though that it's all about educating the customer. So sometimes they won't actually, they don't actually know that they need collaboration,
That's
but
yeah,
you need to
absolutely
then
right.
educate them.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. And it is
Mm.
it is always about education. I think even data literacy is about education. It's about
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
finding the value, showing them the value of understanding the data and how, what can you do with the data. And for us, it is also about teaching the customer about different
Yeah.
ways of actually be able to drive action a lot more efficiently and a lot quicker. The current process, they
Mm.
just send emails and meetings and PDFs. So
Yeah.
they have the conversations about the data are happening sparsely around the business in many different ways. So when you need to be able to track
Mm.
back to what was decided upon a particular point in the
Yeah.
data which needs to be take action, there is no record of that, right? Because it's just
Mm.
everywhere. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
one of the great things that we do is actually centralizing conversations around the Qlik Sense, which essentially it's the data, and being able to also facilitate a loop for the customer to be able to
Yeah.
go into Qlik Sense to be able to drive insights and then be able to communicate that out into the business and then invite everyone back into the platform to be able to have discussions around the data and
Mm.
essentially take action. So yeah.
Fantastic. That's great. Yeah. Okay. So what does the partner landscape look like for you, and what role does it play in your go-to-market strategy?
Yeah, so we work with, currently we work with a number of partners also across the globe, mainly in
Mm.
Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, and UK. We are adding more partners, as we go along. Almost every month, we are adding a new partner into our network. For us, it's extremely crucial because that is essentially our channel to be able to drive our
Mm.
product out to the customers. We're not trying to build a sales force to be able to sell commentary. We just want to be able
Yeah, it
to.
really extends your reach, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah, right. So for us, it's all
Mm.
about partner enablement, making sure that they're across the solution, that they have
Yeah.
customers that they can extend the value to, and then just basically our job, honestly, from headquarters, is just supporting them with our
Mm.
solution and making sure that they're enabled and they're well trained so they can support their customers through the journey. So yeah.
Yeah. So if anyone's watching this, then you would and would like to become a partner, then would you like to reach out to you directly? How would you want that to work?
Yeah, absolutely. So most of the requests to find out more about the core partnership program, they usually
Mm.
come through the website. So that's a great starting point. Just go qoresolutions.com, and then you can go to
Yeah.
the contact page. And most requests come through there, and then we get in touch with them. We take them through the program, the product. We show them what it can actually do and how it's changing customers for
Yeah.
good. And
And I presume that's the same for customers as well, if they want to get in touch and try your solution as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so they can just go to qoresolutions.com and they can just go to the contact page and just request a demo and be
Mm.
able to reach out and yeah, get in touch with us. We'll show them what we're doing with commentary and try and understand their particular challenge that they're going through and be
Mm.
able to work collaboratively to be able to give them the
Yeah.
opportunity to trial commentary as well.
So that's qoresolutions.com. So they can then put in a request and get a demo, or reach out directly to speak to you. That's
Qore with a
qoresolutions.com.
Q.
I'll Core with a Q. Yeah,
That's
everything
right.
with a Q.
Everything with a Q. That's right.
Excellent. And that's if they want to, with commentary with a Q as well, do that. So that's fantastic. So what's the future look like then, Seb? What's happening at Core? What are you working on next? What have people got to look forward to from you?
Lots happening, John. So we are now, as I said before, we are moving into providing our customers with a suite of collaboration extensions. So we have
Mm.
lots coming up in the roadmap for the second half of 2019, which has started. We're rolling out a table commentary extension. We're bringing out lots of different things. We have webinars as
Yeah.
well that we will regularly
Oh,
publish.
fantastic. So would they register for those again on your website? Yeah.
Well, yes, exactly. They post it on the website, and they can also find us in LinkedIn. So we post
Oh, fantastic.
everything on our commentary channel in LinkedIn. So if they go there, they can
Yeah.
look up right now there's a webinar coming up on the 11th of July. So
Oh, okay.
we're gonna take them through the latest release 19.3 of commentary, and we're gonna show them what's new, which is a lot of
Yeah.
new things coming up in 19.3. And we also give them a view of what's coming up as well, and also an opportunity for them to be able to ask questions and also
Yeah.
provide feedback, because we know that we want to hear from them, and be able to take everything into consideration, and
Yeah.
we take that into account, definitely into a roadmap. So
So that's very important. So repeat that again, Seb, on how they can register for that webinar on the 11th of July.
right, so the easiest way is to look us up in LinkedIn, commentary
Mm.
in LinkedIn with a Q, and then just follow us so you can get more feedback, more updates coming up, and then you'll see the one of the latest posts that we've done is around the webinar. So you can just click that link and it will take you
Yeah.
to the registration page, sign up, and we'll show you what we're doing, what's coming up in the 19.3 release. And also, what's most excitingly, what's in the roadmap, which is
Yeah.
we'll have a couple of sneak peeks as well, so we'll throw them in there.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah,
Excellent. So I shall register myself for that. So I
yeah,
can go to
absolutely.
LinkedIn and find commentary with a Q. So I'll do that. Well, Seb, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for giving us this chance to chat about your very exciting product and to reach out across the globe to Sydney,
Yeah,
Australia from
absolutely. It's a long
Southsea in
way.
Hampshire. It is a long way. So thanks again. Good luck, and we'll keep in touch, of course, and maybe do a follow up. So once you've done this webinar on the new product, then we'll do this again, and so people can go and watch this. And this will be available on YouTube, on podcast, and Seb, you'll obviously be advertising it as well. So
Absolutely.
thanks again.
Thank you,
Take
John.
care, and we'll speak again soon.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye bye for now.